Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Angela. I am a 54-year-old nursing student. I've been a nurse, an LPN for 12 years, since 2011. Passed my NCLEX on the first try. Had a few bumps in the road, even in LPN school, and so now I am an RN student. I just want to get into it. I passed nursing school, or this semester. This semester. It was rough. It was hard. It was what I expected, because I know being part of a nursing program is, you might as well be in boot camp. And as somebody that has endured boot camp in the Army, you might as well be, because it's not for the weak-hearted. It's not for people that's just, oh, I can do this. Oh, it's nothing. Oh, no, you're going to have to study. If you want to be a good, effective, safe nurse, it is not for anybody. So I passed. But let me tell you about the drama to get me to pass both of my nursing classes. So this semester I took, it was an LPN to transition with clinical class. Then I took, what was it? It was a theory class on wellness and had labor and delivery, those kind of teachings in that particular class. Now, the theory class was 2 credits. The LPN to transition with the clinical was 3. But my focus, my laser focus this semester was on chemistry. Because without chemistry, it really didn't matter if I passed these classes or not, because this was my second time taking chemistry. I had an amazing instructor. I wish she was a nursing instructor, because she was really detailed. She really wanted to see us succeed. I think the problem last time, nothing changed about her, was that it was online. And I'm not the best online student. I do better if I'm sitting in a class. I can see you. I can ask you a question. Maybe it's part of my learning style, visual. So my focus was chemistry, because I can always retake a nursing class. Didn't want it to retake a nursing class, but my focus was chemistry. So I passed that as well, which, to God be the glory. To God be the glory. I didn't pass it with an A. Like, I wish I was an A straight student. But with work and life, I can't even say. I got little kids at the house. I got 3 pets. But it was really that I passed this. If I pass this, then I can go anywhere else. If they kick me out the school, I can go anywhere else. But I didn't want to take no more science classes. Science classes are nightmares. A&P, nightmares. Microbiology, nightmares. Like, I was not a good science person, even in high school. Like, I was not good in it. I don't know. Some people take to it and some people don't. You know, that's just the way it is. But I passed that. Happy to have that under my belt. So let's get back to my theory class. So my theory class, like I said, was 2 credits. My chemistry class was also 3 credits with a lab. Let me tell you what my grade was. So after I took my final, they waited to post our grades for one class until we had took the second test, the second final for the clinical class, which I guess they felt people would have anxiety. If they've seen that they failed or did poorly, they would do poorly on the second exam. Good thinking. Not that it helped, but good thinking. And so because this final was on a Tuesday morning, that weekend, after taking exam 2 for my clinical class and bombing it, I said, no, I know this stuff. This is not new. I practice it at my job. I practice it in life. This is clearly testing. It is clearly you are not reading the entire question correctly. You're not asking what are they asking for. And you're probably, and I'm pretty sure of this, not reading all of the answer selections. So I watched so many YouTube videos on nursing exams, not NICLEX specifically, but nursing exams delivered by instructors. And found out it was. I was not sitting back because I had time, because the exam was 2 hours, to read the whole question. What is it asking me? First priority, what does the nurse do first? What should the nurse do next? Reading is fundamental. And so I read the question. I read the answers, all of them. I didn't just pick the first one and say, oh, that one's the right answer, and keep it moving. Now, it took a little longer. I used up I think we had 2.5 hours to take this test. I used up all 2 hours of the test. And my grades before on the first 2 exams were D's and F's. When I came to that final, I was like, it was worth 110 points. To myself, I said, I need all 110 points. What I got was a 90%. And that told me it was not that I did not read, I did not study, I did not review. It was reading, slowing down, and looking at the questions. So then when they did release the grade for the final, I was like, wow, I did really good on the final in comparison to all the other stuff. And then I looked at my grade. My grade average was 77.45. And I was like, this has got to be nonsense. That 55 points or a percentage stands between me and passing this course. So then I look back, and unfortunately our instructor had quit maybe 2-3 weeks before. I had no clue. Our particular group of LPNs had no clue what had happened. The other new coming in fresh students to the RN program, they knew what had happened, or kind of knew what happened, because the incident, I guess, occurred to them. So she quit. But if it wasn't for God, on December 5th, I had emailed her about an assignment that I had completed, that I had uploaded. But guess what I uploaded? I uploaded a blank document. First of all, it was not a joke. I had 2 assignments named the same thing. One had the answers, one was just a blank document. And I said, you mean to tell me these 5 points that this assignment was worth is going to keep me to repeat at least the theory part? I said, I don't have time. I don't have the energy. I don't even have the strength. And I had met with my instructor of my clinical class for our final evaluation. I was like, you know what? I've had a great career as a nurse. Still a great career currently. If I retire at 65, which I don't even think retirement age for me is 65, I think it's 70 or 67. So even if I retire in 10 years, 11 years, whatever this is, I've had a great career. I came home, I beat myself up. Then I talked to God and I asked 2 questions. Does this define who I am as a person, as a nurse? I come back with the response of no, it is not. Then I asked the question, if I don't pass, is somehow the heavens going to open up and God is going to remove me off of the earth? You know, it's oftentimes we think, oh my God, this is it. I could never get this done. I'll never be able to pass. I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. But it's in those times that you realize that everything that you are, God has already placed inside of you. You have to discover what it is. So back to the story of the 5 points that I needed for this assignment to put me at 78%, which I'm not proud of just 78%. In most places, 78% is a C. 70% is a C. But in the nursing program, 78% is a C. And that's why I say to God be the glory. So I emailed the dean, the associate dean who was on vacation, few of the instructors, and I said, in light of, I emailed her about this assignment. She didn't respond. How can I get these 5 points? Just 5 points. I mean, if she'd have responded and said, oh, I'm not going to give you all the points because it's late and blah, 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 blah. If she'd have said that, then I'd have to take it and be okay, whatever, and decide from there what I want to do with the rest of my life. So then one of the instructors, who was my clinical instructor, she said, email me or forward me the email that you sent to the instructor. I forwarded immediately, it's like we were sitting right next to each other. I forwarded immediately. Then I still was scared. I was like, I just need these 5 points. I don't know if they're going to accept it, blah, blah, blah. And then later on that night, I look at the email because I'm studying for my chemistry test. You made it. I was like, oh my God, to God be the glory. Like, it's just awesome. That 5 points. It's like God says, oh, I'm going to do it with very little. Like 5 points is nothing. But God says, I'm going to put you through things that you might not see a way. You might not know how you can do it, but I'll make a way. And he made a way, because this ain't me. The thought wasn't even in my mind that I needed 5 points. And I still don't think I needed 5 points. I could have made it to 78% with 2 points. But like I said, I mean, he did it. He did it. And then I took my other test that next day, and I also did better. And that's how I knew it was, for that particular thing, it was testing. You have to slow down enough in nursing. That's why they don't want you working. I understand that, but that's not an option for me. And get down to the root of the matter. And I look back and I think about some things that I didn't do well when it comes to studying. because one, it was no time. Like, it was always an assignment due. It was always something to do. Always you're running to clinical, you're running to this, you're running to that. So it was like never enough time. I recorded lectures, rarely had time to listen to them, but I was always going back. Like if we did chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then this week we were on chapter 5, I was still going back. I did this with chemistry too. I was going back to 1, 2, 3, 4, and then also doing 5. So I was always reviewing and going back. It was never like, oh, we're done with this, I'm done, I don't have to look at that. Because you got to think the final is going to come from cumulative, from everything that you do in nursing school. And so I think that helped. But now next semester, first I'm gonna wait on my grades to finalize. And I hate to say C's get degrees, because I don't want to be barely making it in. I want to make it in and be able to kick my legs back or kick my legs up and just be like, okay, I got this. Because next semester is part 2 to these exact classes. In addition to one of the hardest nursing classes known to man, and that is pharmacology. I've already, because I think classes start again in January, maybe the second week or third week of January. I have already started preparing for pharmacology. There's no more of this waiting to the last minute, waiting till the instructor gives out the assignments, waiting for the instructor to say, oh, I need you to read this chapter about this, this, and this. No. There is too much information out there on the internet and YouTube. And this thought just came into my mind about how God said, we, and when he said, well, he didn't say we, he was speaking to Peter as he knew his time was coming to a close. And he said, you will perform greater miracles than I have. You will do things. And this is the thing that he has left for us. We will do greater things than, not that we're better than Christ, but the world has changed so that you don't have to wait on an instructor to give you an assignment. You can already be ready. And he tells us that we will perform greater miracles after he gone. And so it's almost like he said, the world will change so that it won't be like, if you think about all the movies you've ever seen about Jesus, and they were riding on horses and they were living in not mansions, unless they were Julius Caesar, whatever, during that time. You think about all of the times, or the time that he lived in, and compare it to the time that we live in today. Advances in medicine, advances in this, and just overall that we have been privileged to experiment on this earth. And I don't even know why that brings tears to my eyes, but had he not said it and had it not come to mind, because he's telling us you'll do better things, that you may not look at them as miracles, but you'll be doing things that no one could have ever imagined in his day. And so when you're in nursing school, don't just study the books. So we have how much was this book set? a 8-book set through Lippincott. We first had to put down $720. I think it was $720. Next month will be due another $300. So it's $1,000 in virtual books. And this is my other kicker, because I am a physical book person. I need physical books. I realize that I'm old school in some aspects. I need a physical book, especially a book that I have to study and be in all the time and maybe go back to different chapters. I need a physical book. But what we were told was that the physical books, they're not bound books, they were loose leaf paper books. What we were told is that they're not the best quality. Well, what do you mean by that? Like, were they not written the same way that the virtual book is written? Like, or is it because they're paper and they're loose leaf and you need a notebook and blah, blah, blah? I'd rather have that, because then I can highlight, which I can highlight virtually, but it's just not the same when it comes to nursing textbooks. So that is it. I'm on to my second semester. I'm still going to have the same attitude, giving God first, doing God things first, and then everything under that. Because I don't know if I said in another video, you can't serve two masters. You can't be in nursing school and still trying to serve God, because one of them is going to lose. You can work hand in hand, but you can't dedicate your whole life, because they have put us in a position in nursing school to where you would forget about the Lord. You'd forget about self-care. You'd forget about your bills being paid. You'd forget about life exists on the outside of these four walls. You'd forget. And so that's it. And so for anybody and everybody that is out there in nursing school, put God first. And like Charles Stanley used to say, and leave the consequences unto him. He used to say that every time he would end his sermons. He would be like, put God first and leave the consequences to him. And I leave the consequences to God. Because whether you make it, you don't make it, you have to repeat a course or whatever it is, if you're human, you'll be disappointed, you'll hate it, and all kind of things. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to make it into God's heaven and not nursing school heaven, if that even is a thing. But so I wish you the best and I wish you luck. If you're an older student like I am, just take it one day at a time. Practice self-care, self-love. Don't beat yourself up over the little things. Let God handle all the things and it'll work out just fine. Until next semester.